Hi guys, my name's Wooly Creeper and welcome to the first of what will hopefully be many videos, or perhaps not if you don't like them. Today I'd like to look at mob transport mechanics, specifically transporting cave spiders. Cave spiders are probably both my favourite and most hated mob to deal with. They're my favourite because it's not uncommon to find multiple spawners in the same location or very close to each other. For example, in my world I have 3 that have a spot. If I stand in it, all 3 of them will be active. So spawning rates are triple what you would expect out of a single spawner, and that's always useful. While the XP system in Minecraft pretty much means you can't really expect to gain decent level enchantments without some form of XP farm, mob grinder deal. So the problem with my cave spiders is they're a pain in the arse to move about. Firstly, they will climb and jump up walls, which is difficult. And secondly, they don't behave in water the same way that normal mobs do. Skeletons, zombies. I'm not sure about normal spiders. I don't tend to do a lot of systems with normal spiders because their dimensions make them a pain in the arse for different reasons. But even a non-aggroed spider, as we'll see shortly, a cave spider will, for no apparent reason, fight water current with every drop of energy that he's got. Not quite sure where they're so desperate to get to, but there you go. And really, you're never going to see that because if you're in range of a spawner to make it active, you're in range of a spider's tracking range, and when they're aggroed, their behaviour becomes more predictable, I guess, if no easier really to handle because of it, and that is that they will try and get to you with a fierceness that's frightening. So if you're trying to transport them in any direction that's not directly towards you, then you're going to run into problems. And even if you are trying to transport them directly towards you, it seems like a slightly odd statement about moving them away from you, but sometimes you want to spiral them up to a height so you can drop them back down to make them take damage. And if you're spiraling them, some of the time they're going to be moving away from you. And even if they're moving at a tangential line, i.e. not directly towards you but sidewards as it were, they'll still cause you problems. So let's go over and have a look at both how spiders are normally transported and how I'm transporting them these days. Okay, welcome to my test world. This is imaginatively named Big Mesa. So yes, transporting mobs normally involves the stair and sign trick, because water will flow 8 blocks including the source, and in order to get it to go further without having a backflow of water and without having any gaps in the water, any dead spaces, the use of a stair, which you can be pushed up by the first water stream, and a sign to hold back the second water stream is standard for transporting mobs. So this is useful for extending the range of a water stream, and also, as you can see here, lifting that water stream up by one block. Now, this setup is currently set up for cave spiders. We're presenting them with a one-high tube. Obviously, if you were dealing with zombies or skeletons, it would be too high. However, zombies and skeletons work beautifully with this system. Cave spiders, not so keen. So, let's just open this up, have a look. Now, I hasten to add that this system is pretty reliable, I must admit. Most spiders, the majority of the spiders, will travel down here, and you see him fighting the current there, and up he goes. Bit of persuasion, and off he goes to the end to live a happy life. Run free, spider. No? Yeah, off you go. You go around to the beginning again. However, every so often, let's see if we can get them to do it. Here we go. Right, so you get a spider who climbs up and sits in this corner. Now, generally speaking, he'll eventually get bored of that and be on his way. However, what can happen is you can get multiple spiders stuck in this space. And once you get more than one spider up at the top of a wall, they tend to want to stay there for much more prolonged periods. Now, these spiders, because we're in creative, are not aggroing me, because that's how creative works. However, if I can just get some to aggro me, let's stand back here a bit. And because I don't particularly want to be mobbed by mobs, let's just close this off. Right. So, there we go. Go away. So you can see immediately that they're quite capable of fighting the water stream. More in there. Close this off. Right, so they're quite capable of fighting the water stream. And if we're over in this direction, he's really just not going to shift for a long time. If you've got a mob system that's producing hundreds of spiders, you can get a good proportion of those stuck in this place. And the more you get stuck there, the more likely you are to get more stuck there, I've seen. So I find the staring sign trick to be not satisfactory when it comes to this transporting of cave spiders. So let's get rid of these guys. Now, the main problem here is we've got some dead space, which you're always going to get a little bit of dead space in a cave spider system. because of the water mechanics. But the problem is the dead space is above them, so they're able to jump up into it and stay there. If we can move the dead space below the water stream, we should reduce the number that will get stuck, because of the jumping habit and the climbing habit of cave spiders. Also, if it's down here, or here, then the next spider along is very likely going to clear the blockage and push them through. Now, I tried a number of things. The most simple, if I can find a sign, there we go. The simplest way of doing this is to replace the stairs with a sign. And there we go. So now we've got one block of dead space still, but it's at the bottom. I think I aggroed at least one there. So they get pushed into there and they jump up. Okay. So that's the simplest way. A slightly more resource friendly way is to replace the sign with a wooden pressure plate. Or you can use a half slab, in fact. Let's fill that in. Right, so this does the same, but at the cost of 2 planks rather than 6 planks and a stick. However, if you then, I'll show you on this one I've prepared earlier, if you then place a fence post underneath the pressure pad, you're then invoking the pretty strange physics of fence posts, in that the collision mask for mobs, even though the collision mask for blocks is 1 block, and the model is, the wireframe is 1 block, for mobs they count as, I think it's 1¼ blocks, maybe 1½. And what this does is it pushes effectively this level higher. You still need the pressure plate because for water they are still only 1 block high, so the water would flow back through there. So we put the pressure plate on top to stop that. But also effectively, because the pressure plate is only I don't know how big a pressure plate is really, but or if it even has a collision mask for mobs, but effectively it's sat lower than the fence, so they are actually walking on the fence even though you can't see it. Now, I do know there's a slightly strange thing that happens if you're pushed into a wall while on a fence, in that, well, it used to make you jump. I'm not sure if it still does. However, it does seem to rocket them up into the water stream. Off you go. There you go. Even if we aggro them. There we go. Oh, go away. Taste my bane of arthropods. Right. So, you can see, I'll stay over here. And as soon as he manages to get pushed through here. There you go. Up. So this is brilliant. So that as soon as they're up in this block, this is due to this water flow. The system's not 100% perfect. To be honest, when it comes to these guys, I don't think there is going to be a system that'll be 100% perfect. Let's get rid of that. However, I think this improves the efficiency of the mob transport quite a bit. Now, there is another advantage to this, and what that is, I've got a bit more room over here, so I'll show it here. Is that what we can do is we can use this to very easily merge two streams of mobs together. Forgot the fence post. There we go. So we can now use this to merge a second stream of spiders into the first stream of spiders, like that. And that's quite useful, and it works quite well. I've never done it, never tried to do that with any of the other mob transport systems, Sterling Sign and things like that, but this works particularly well, I think. So let's go and have a look at this in a more complete setup. So this is my fake mob spawner. Okay, let's just get in here. So what we have here is an 8x8 room from there to there, and a dispenser full of spider eggs to simulate the presence of a spawner in the centre. This is largely based upon the work done by Etho in his Let's Play. If you've not watched Etho's videos, immediately stop this video, search YouTube for Etho's Lab and subscribe to his channel, because you'll learn much more from him than you ever will from me. So this system here, where we push the spiders along the side, up some steps and into this little area here with the signs, is, I guess, a variation on the staring sign trick, but it works really well in this situation. Pushing them up into here, occasionally they'll jump straight back out, but they'll just keep getting recycled. There's nothing for them to grip onto up here, because we've not got this area here for them to stick in. Slight change on Etho's design. In the corner here, Etho has a set of stairs here and a sign, obviously, and I've replaced this with my system with a pressure plate, which is stone here, but the pressure plate on a fence post. Now, Etho discovered that they would get stuck in this area. They wouldn't want to go into the one wide corridor, strangely. He found by putting a set of stairs in this position, there, and he would have a set of stairs there. Obviously I'm not going to do that because I don't want to destroy my pressure plate. That they would kind of get notched into here and then go through. However, I find it actually seems to work slightly better to have a too long water stream here. So effectively they're being pushed right into the corner by two water streams coming in 90 degrees to each other. It just seems to work a little better, I think. That's held back by this sign here, which is attached to this sign on the wall. Apart from that, pretty much standard. Obviously the glass is only possible because we're using a dispenser and not an actual spawner. Let's close this back up. And the dispenser is run by some rough and ready redstone and repeater work to make a simple clock. Right. So here we have our exit from the spawner box, and that comes out into this tube. Okay, and under here we have a merge with a manual lever just to this dispenser here, just to demonstrate the merging the two streams. A bit rough and ready really. Speaking of rough and ready, this water stream is very long. It's maximum length water stream, and I have noticed you want to avoid these, and you'll see these in the demonstration. What happens is around here, these two blocks here, the spiders seem to be able to climb up to the roof of the tube and actually sit above the water stream, and they're unaffected by the water stream, which is quite interesting, and in no small part quite a pain. So I would suggest that you avoid full length water streams. But apart from that, we'll go around the other side here. Fence post and pressure plate. You could actually use a fence post and a sign, but it's more resource hungry. And then this is ideal. So a two block stream, fence post sign up into 2-block stream. Now here's one advantage. With the stair and sign trick, you really want to let the water stream handle the corners, which increases the width that this spiral requires. You end up needing a 2x2 block core, but in this system you can prove, because they're jumping up into a water stream, you can actually make the bends around the rise. This effectively, the higher water stream can go off in any direction it wants. Obviously it can't go back on itself because they'd be required to make a 2-block jump in order to go back on themselves. That wouldn't be so reliable. So because of this, if we go to the top, you can't really see up at the top because I needed to place redstone for this quick and dirty killer crushing device. But the spiral actually can move around a 1-block core. So you can build your entire spider spiral in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x5 area. So it compresses it down. I think for the stair and sign, to get reliability out of it, you would probably be looking at a 6x6 area, which is useful if you know, it's always nice to make stuff compact. Doesn't look very pretty through the glass, I must say, but I guess that's a personal aesthetics thing. So yeah, and this is just a version of the crusher that I use, where you use a sticky piston to push block into there, locks off any further spiders and allows a piston below to push it up against an iron bar. Normally you'd want to time that so that we had 1 heart left, but yeah, today we're just going to kill them to get rid of them at the end. Okay, so let's start the spawning. Right. Okay. So we've got slightly higher rates than you would get out of a normal spawner, because it's not waiting for 6 to leave the area, but hey. So This corner is still not great. I don't think there's going to... The way cave spiders work, I don't think you're ever going to get a really great system out of that. But as you can see, they pop all the way around. They are still able to stick in this corner, but they're fighting the water current, so they're pretty much going to get pushed along at some point. In my older mob systems, I've had, well, 10s, 20s, 30, 40, 50 even at a time, stuck in a big spider cake in the corner of these risers with the stone sign trick. And you don't seem to get that at all with this system, which is good. That's what we want. Let's go and merge some in. So it's quite jammed in there. However, no problem for the system to merge spiders in there. They just jump straight up and they're on their way. So yeah, I guess we should aggro some to make it a complete test. Come on. Okay, so there are some that are aggroed. Let's stop this. Okay. So, we do get a little bit of inaccuracy in that when they get stuck, it is possible for them to get stuck long enough to take some drowning damage, which is not too great. I'm not sure how you'd get around that. Generally, on the whole, I think a much lower percentage cause a problem with the system than you get with normal stone sign trick in these risers. So we just wait for the Johnny come lately here. I'll back off a bit because that noise does my head in. Come on, off you go. Right, so let's go and kill some spiders. So you can see a few died there, but we're looking at one-hit kills. Or we can take a handy splash potion and woo, dingly dingly dingly. XP in my face. Oops, wrong key. There we go. Also, I quite like this. Oh, lagging my game a bit. Quite like this system because you can raise those up. Some do get stuck under the bar, and I'm not quite sure what to do about that. I mean, I guess we could just remove that, but still need to think about that. Or maybe want some system that pulls this bar back out of the way. But need to think of some safety constraints. But that's not what I'm here to talk about anyway. So yeah, basically. Oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, where are you going? Run free, spider, run! So yeah, I think that works better. I think it works with more reliability. But tell me what you think. Give it a go, maybe. See if it works for you. Before I finish the video, I'd like to say, though, obviously, big respect, massive thanks to Etho for just really doing all the groundwork for this particular type of cave spider transport. I think really it was the first system that I saw that really kind of got it all together, and this is really just improvement on what he's already done. So, as I say, if you're not subscribed to Etho's Lab, do it now. Go on, do it. No, don't wait to see if I say anything more else that's more interesting. Go and do it now. On another note, more technical note, obviously this is my first video. I hope it comes out okay for you. But if you've got any suggestions, I'm willing to read them and see what I can do about improving the quality. Thank you.